and today I'm here to review the new book, People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This book just came out on Tuesday, and I have been really looking forward to it. The cover is so cute. Like, you know, I love me a good romance cover, and I was really excited to read this one. Also because it is not an enemies to lovers novel like I love to read. It is a friends to lovers novel, which I don't find as popular, but is also a fantastically good trope and one that I really want to read more of. So I was a little nervous just because I've been reading so many romance books this year. Like, that's actually a new thing for me. And I feel like when you read so much of one genre, you know, it starts to be that books that are just like, okay, or like maybe you would give 4 stars aren't as good because you've been reading, like, you know what a good one is like, so you're like, okay. So I was a little nervous that was going to happen, but I'm happy to report that this is definitely up there as probably one of my top 3 romance reads of the year. I absolutely fell in love with it, and I think it is such a good book for the times that we live in, because obviously, like, we can't travel really. For being good, we can't travel, okay? Not like Dua Lipa. And we're kind of all stuck, and I mean, for people who love to travel, that's a hard thing, and then even for people who don't, who don't go a lot, it still is hard just to not be able to go to the beach or stuff like that. So this book, People We Meet on Vacation, is great because it fluctuates between a bunch of different summers between Poppy, the main character, and Alex, her best friend / love interest. And they go to all these amazing places, and you really just feel like you're there on the vacation. Like, you get the feeling of like being like hot or being like bogged down in, like, you know, the humidity, but just so excited to see stuff that you don't care. And I think that was really, like, that was a great part because it feels like you're going on these trips with them. And I think since a lot of us haven't been able to travel for a while, I think that really helped and like feel like, oh, I'm getting out there, you know, through them vicariously. So the main story between this, though, is it takes place over 10 summers. So from the time Poppy and Alex met each other in college to the now, where they have not talked in 2 years after an incident that happened on their last summer vacation together that we don't know about. They don't talk about. They haven't talked in 2 years. And Poppy, basically at the start of this book, is in a rut. She has her job she loves. She's living in the city she loves, but she just feels like she's not happy. Like, nothing's motivating her, and she's really struggling and kind of in a rut. So her friend asks her, like, when was the last time you felt like truly happy and satisfied? And she realizes that it's when she was with Alex. So she texts him to see if he wants to go on one more vacation with her to try and get back to where they were and recapture that magic of their friendship. And they decide to go to Palm Springs for his brother's wedding and kind of just add on to the wedding and like stay a few days before and hang out and have their fun little vacation, and things obviously go from there. So I, first of all, really love the character of Poppy. I love the idea of someone who has what they want theoretically, the job, the apartment, the friends, the life, and is not happy and doesn't know why. And I think this is a good trend I've been seeing in romance books lately, is where the concept of like therapy and mental illness starts to come in, because I mean, she doesn't really say it, but obviously she's depressed. Like, she doesn't want to get out of bed. The idea of like just waking up every day and doing the same thing over and over again like bums her the frick out, because she's like, this is just what my life is going to be like. And I think it makes it more realistic for these characters, because I think that's a lot of what us are experiencing. I mean, I personally, like, that's the thing that terrifies me, I think, is just like my day being the same over and over and over again for the rest of my life. So I could really relate to that with Poppy, and I think that's what made you really sympathize with her, at least for me, and really understand like why she was so like determined to get this friendship back on with Alex, because Alex is really the one that knows her the best. Obviously, he's been her best friend for 10 years and she's missed him the last 2 years, and this is a like one point of view, so we only get Poppy's, and I've said before that I like when we get both, and I would have liked to see Alex's point of view, but I think it also worked better that we didn't get to see Alex's point of view, because a lot of what we get from this book is what Poppy has to deal with. Like, Alex has kind of been the steadfast, you know, they're opposites. So Poppy's this like wild child. She likes to travel. Alex, on the other hand, is very shy, very reserved. He likes things planned. He likes control. He likes to know where things are going, what's happening. Like, the best thing I could summarize to like sum them up, he loves driving because it puts him in control, and like he knows where he's going and he can be in control of like everything. She hates driving because it just stresses her out. So like that's kind of where I feel like that's a good metaphor for their relationship of like they're opposites in that hand, but it works out perfectly because they never fight. Like she doesn't have to worry about driving, and then he doesn't have to worry about someone being like, no, let me drive, and him getting stressed out. And I feel like that encapsulates their relationship on a base level, but like that's where they're opposites, but they're like the sides that each other needs to make the whole. And it's just so adorable. I also love just like the dialogue between them. Like I feel like a lot of times like you get these main characters that are like supposed to be funny and sassy, and then they say stuff that's like Riverdale-esque, and you're like, no one would say this in real life. Like, Veronica Lodge, you're not being witty. And I feel like that was the opposite with Poppy, because like she didn't really be like, oh, I'm funny. Like there were times where she's like, yeah, I like getting Alex to laugh, but like her jokes were like legitimately funny. Like I found myself laughing out loud when she would say them. And same with Alex. Alex, they were like, you know, he's not funny with everyone. Like he's very hard to open up to, but like when he's funny, he's funny. And I feel like she did a really good job, Emily Henry, of like capturing that dialogue and that like wittiness between them, like that they have a very good banter. I also feel like she did a good job expanding upon the friendship, so you see kind of why from the start they weren't dating. Like it wasn't like they were best friends right away. Like it was a very like almost crept up on each other kind of thing, where they didn't realize how well of friends they were until they were already like deep in it, you know? And I think that was cute because it then led to like more of their romance and being like why they wouldn't have decided to take that plunge earlier, because it's like when you realize someone's your best friend without even realizing it, like, oh my gosh, they're the person I talk to the most, you don't want to jeopardize that, you know? You don't want to add in, like, oh, do I like them? Like, do they maybe like me? Like, no, like, they're my best friend. Like, I don't want to ruin this relationship that I've already, like, put so much effort in without realizing and, like, are so close to them. So I like that because I think it made it, you know, it would be annoying if you're like, okay, guys, why aren't you together? Like, this is clearly, like, you like him, he likes you, like, very obvious. Like, I feel like, again, because it's from Poppy's point of view, you're unsure of Alex's feelings for a while, and because he is kind of more stoic and shy and hard to open up to, I mean, that combined with the fact that they haven't talked in 2 years and that you don't get his point of view, I think makes it understandable for why Poppy is, like, not seeing that maybe there's something there, you know? Like, she could feel it, but she doesn't want to, like, it's hard to read him, even if he is her best friend. And obviously like the Croatia incident from 2 summers ago is weighing heavily in her mind because they haven't talked since 2 summers after that, and it's not implied what happened, but you can put the dots together, I think, why 2 best friends wouldn't talk to each other after 2 years. And I just really loved it. I loved the cover, and I love the idea of best friends to lovers. But with so many romance books, some of them have been disappointing me lately that I thought were going to be really good. So I'm really excited that that was not the case with this one. And I'm so excited to see what else Emily Henry is going to write now, because this just did such a good job of like putting you in that world. You know, you were Poppy, you were on vacation with them and all the crappy things that happened to them, from broken AC. And I think you could just kind of feel that whole idea of, you know, the idea is vacation. Vacation is different because vacation ends. You can be whoever you want on vacation because it's seeing people that you're not going to see probably ever again, and it's going places that are magical and that are special. But the idea of vacation that makes it so special is it has to end. So how do you continue on with something that feels so special when you go back home, you know? And I think that's the whole thing with her relationship with Alex, is that these summer trips they take every year feel so special, but is it because it's on, like, how do you sustain that when you get back? And I think that fear of not wanting to risk that and ruin that and kind of potentially tamper these, you know, magical vacation moments that they get together, I think is a real, like, fear that you really feel and understand. So that's why it's not frustrating that they don't get together, you know, right away, because you're like, okay, I get, like, where you're coming from. And I think it's just, they're so cute. I love them together so much. They're definitely opposites attract, but like they just balance each other out so well, and I love it. So I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. If you have read this book or are interested in reading it, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. It's definitely perfect vacation beach read if you can get to the vacation or to the beach. That's not grammatically correct, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I really loved it, and make sure to tell me what you guys thought. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!